if you're an international student in New York, no one will know that you're an international student.
The likeliness of you dying in a road accident in India is probably 100 times over, maybe 1,000 times over than you being in a homicide.
And those stories are heartbreaking. It's very scary, but it is an extremely small percentage of students where that happens.
There is a sort of constant number of students who are wanting to go to the US and end up getting the visa.
We have new technology in pharmaceutical drug dispensing. It's called, as you said, well said, we have such a rich history in places like India. We have an Indian student club called Sagnam.
Really? Welcome to On Spotlight, a podcast series where we shed some light on your foreign education queries. Hi, I'm Jolan Rao, Director at Rao Consultants. Over the years, we've been privileged to walk alongside students as they navigate their study abroad journey, facing questions, excitement, and sometimes uncertainty. That's why we're launching On Spotlight, a podcast where we'll talk with universities, industry experts, and inspiring alumni who are going to share their stories and advices that can help you make informed choices about your future. So we have Mr. Freddie Chickeri today, who's the Director of International Admissions at LIU, Long Island University. I think you've been doing this for 10 odd years. You've been helping students come to New York and study. And then you work with, I believe, 4 or 5 institutes. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been visiting different universities in and around India. We've met with pharmacy colleges, technical business colleges, and we're talking to students about all the exciting research opportunities that we have at Long Island University, and answering questions about the admissions requirements and what it's like to study in New York. So it's been a lot of fun. We've met with a lot of students this week.
So what has been the driving factor for you? Because you've been doing this for over a decade. What do you think has kept you in the student industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my passion for helping international students come to the United States and share their knowledge of what they've experienced in their country, whether it's India, Korea, Brazil, Vietnam, and they bring their knowledge from their background, from their education in their country to the United States. And conversely, American professors, and we have professors from all over the world, they bring a different perspective on the research that they've done in New York and elsewhere. So I think that cross-collaborative research and the backgrounds that students have from all over the world, it culminates in something exciting that students are sharing, and they're working together in research, and they're making the world a better place, whether it's through life-saving drugs in pharmacy, or if it's in financial tech, if it's in cancer research. There's so many different areas. So for me, I get to be exposed to all the different academic areas, and I'm just fascinated by the research that I've seen students at LIU do, and students who are coming in. So I feel that I'm bringing in talented international students to New York. So that's what gets me excited.
Oh wow! And so one of the things you said was you trying to foster diversity in your student body, and the other being you're trying to bring talent to New York, and sort of lead the way for research. I think that's an interesting thought process. Okay, so before we get into talking about LIU, I think I want to talk about US as a study abroad destination. So what we do in this podcast is I try and throw questions the best I can from students' perspective. And then, so we want to run through every element of US as a country and LIU as an institute for a student to be coming and studying. What are all the aspects they probably would consider before coming here? US as a study abroad destination, how do you think US compares to a lot of other popular destinations for Indian students? Example, Canada, UK, Australia?
That's an interesting question. It's something that I think students should consider. What are the differences for themselves? Whether they're thinking about one of the big 4 countries, the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, they all have their advantages and disadvantages in terms of work authorizations. That's something that you're going to consider. How easy it may be to obtain that student visa relative to some other kinds of visas. There's other countries, like newer countries in the arena, such as Germany, Scotland. So there's a lot of different places that you can study abroad. What I think is unique about the United States is Um, I think it's twofold. I think it's the research that we have very unique research. For example, at Long Island University, we have new technology in pharmaceutical drug dispensing. It's called OmniCell. So it's a dispensary where if you're a pharmacist, you can scan a patient's QR code and it'll dispense the drug directly to the pharmacist. So pharmacists can focus more on working with patients instead of supply chain.
Oh, wow.
And actually, it ensures that you always have
The
the
right
right amount of
medicine.
drug on hand.
Oh, wow.
So it's really new technology. LIU is one of the only universities that has this technology.
Really? Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Pharmaceutical companies from New York, New Jersey, they come to LIU to see it, to see this new technology, and they're so impressed that our students are using this technology. And they're of course thinking about purchasing OmniCells for themselves and incorporating it in their businesses. So I think that research component and that our academic areas are doing cross-collaborative research and artificial intelligence of drug discovery and so many different areas of AI. I think that's what's unique about the US, that the US is always in the forefront of new technology and our students are using that technology.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Okay, so one of the things we've done in the past podcast is we've talked about the stereotypes of the country that students want to go to. So I think we've done one with a Paris school, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, but then the Parisian people or the French people are usually good at identifying somebody who's not French by the way they dress.
Oh, right.
And then we did something similar for Singapore. So Singapore, I couldn't find a lot of stereotypes. It's just they're really good at math and their trash is cleaner than most places.
Right.
So what US is like an ocean of stereotypes. I think a lot of people usually have a lot of preset stereotypes for US. What do you think is popular amongst students?
Well, I'll say this, is that if you're an international student in New York, no one will know that you're an international student. You'll blend in with every other person in New York. We're so diverse in New York City. It's a melting pot, as they say. So they won't know that you're an international student. And the other thing I would say just about the diversity is that, for example, LIU has 1,500 international students from more than 90 different countries. So we have fantastic diversity at LIU. And just moreover, thinking about safety on campuses. And I think safety is really important. LIU is one of the safest campuses in New York City. It's a gated community in downtown Brooklyn. It's just one subway stop away from being in Manhattan. Safety is so important. And if you're in a North American city, you have to be traveling smart. I think that's important. So you do need to be heads up, as I would say. You need to just be aware of your surroundings for sure. But it's a super safe campus. And New York is a very safe city. So students they're in good hands being in New York.
So there's a lot of preconceived notions with students wanting to come to the US, and let's call them hurdles for students to come to the US. Or if not students per se, maybe their parents don't want to send their kids to US because of some reasons. So these preconceived notions may not be true to some extent. So if you could help me understand how is the reality different from what people think? And second is, how do you think it would change over time? So one of the things you said was safety. So a lot of students don't want to come to the US because safety is a factor. And especially in the Northeast, or if you're traveling Chicago, downtown, or New York. People think that it's really bad for international students. What do you think is the reality? And how do you think it's going to change over the years?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the reality is that large cities in North America have challenges, certainly, with safety, with homelessness. And I think they're looking at the future of policing, they're looking at the future of security, and looking at making these cities more safe through new technology. Having said that, I still encourage students to study in the United States because overarching, it is extremely safe. You do hear about those stories where
Mm,
it's so unfortunate that there's a shooting
correct.
or there's an international student who does die, frankly. And those stories are heartbreaking. It's very scary. Um, but it is an extremely small percentage of students where that happens. So I would say that do your own research
Mm,
on the statistics of crime in particular cities, and you'll find that these cities are very safe,
mm.
and you can send your student to the United States with confidence. And so many international students are having amazing experiences in New York and around the United States.
So for this, I was reading the statistics, and I don't remember the exact numbers. But best I remember is the likeliness of you dying in a road accident in India is probably 100 times over, or maybe 1,000 times over than you being in a homicide.
Right.
So, or you're probably more likely to die out of a heart stroke. So, considering that it's very safe. Okay, so safety was one of the things. Second thing I can think of is cost. US is fairly expensive for international students. How do you think? How expensive would you say compared to the preconceived notions people have? And how do you think it's going to change over the years?
That's a great question. And first, what I would say is that, well, there's two different types of degree, two popular degree programs that students pursue: a bachelor's degree and a master's degree.
Mhm.
And I kind of want to unpack those two different degrees and how they're different.
Sure.
For example, a bachelor's degree is typically 4 years.
Mhm.
Um, and it's actually a more expensive degree as
Mm.
advertised. For example, LIU's degree at the bachelor's level is 4 years in duration, and the tuition is approximately $42,000 per year.
Mhm.
That's looking at it face value. However, we have fantastic scholarships for those students ranging from 7 to 30,000 per year. So it appears to be expensive when you look at the sticker price, but
Mm.
when you unpack it, you understand that at the undergraduate level, the bachelor's degree, there's lots of scholarship out there for students, not just
Mm.
at LIU, but many US schools have a similar discount structure in that way,
Mm.
where there's a sticker
Financial aid.
price. Correct,
Mm.
financial aid. And we would call a scholarship merit-based financial aid. So it's
Right.
a scholarship that the student is being awarded when they apply and they're accepted,
Mhm.
and you'll receive your offer letter, and it'll be very clear what scholarship you're receiving. Many US universities work in that structure.
Mhm.
Now, if you look at a master's degree program, the master's degree program is 2 years in duration. It's less expensive, and there's a little bit less scholarship because it's a shorter program
Mhm.
and it's at a lower cost. But there still is scholarship programs at the graduate level. So what I'm saying is that at the undergraduate level, there's lots of scholarship there because it's expensive and it's 4 years in duration, not as expensive as you might think.
Mhm.
And the master's degree program, they're shorter, but there's still scholarships there as well. Also, students can work on campus. That's another avenue where students can help pay for living expenses.
Okay. Third, I think third challenge I can think of is people sort of avoid applying to U.S. institutes because of visa.
Mm.
And how do you think that's going to change with the example new government? And people put a lot of weightage on new government. I don't think if that's a massive contributing factor. But how do you think it's going to change over the years?
It's certainly there's a steadiness of it
Mhm.
where you know that you will get your appointment at a U.S. embassy in your country,
Mhm.
and you'll interview for your student visa, but there's a certain volatility to it that there are certain times of the year where they may be more oriented towards issuing more visas.
Mhm.
The U.S. embassies work very hard at interviewing students, and overall we support those U.S. embassies in their determination to make those decisions.
Mhm.
It's certainly a difficult job. Having said that, I think if you're a true student and you're coming to the United States for the right reasons, you know what you want to study, you've been an active participant in your admissions process, that
Mhm.
you've worked with a counselor or an agent on submitting all your academic documents, you've done your research about the universities that you've been accepted to. Maybe you've been accepted to 5 different universities.
Mhm.
You being engaged in that admissions process will yield a visa for you.
Mm.
That's what we've seen is tried and true. That students who are active in that admissions process, they'll do better in their visa interviews. So I recommend students don't let the noise of the visa refusals deter you. If you're committed to studying in the U.S. and you're passionate about the program that you're going to pursue, we recommend that you go forward and you apply for a U.S. university.
And if I'm not wrong, I recall a conversation I had with somebody. I think it was Basil from Shorelight, and what we were talking about how the trends of all the countries fluctuate once in a while. So, for example, students from India going to Canada. There's a year where there's 400,000 students going, and then there's a year where there's almost no students going. That is not the case with the US. Even with visas going up and down, even with governments changing, there is a sort of constant number of students who are wanting to go to the US and end up getting the visa.
Right.
Um,
And the numbers are heading north. That year
Correct,
over year,
correct.
there are more international students every year over the last 5 years studying in the United States. So the numbers are heading in the right direction.
And like we were discussing, why US is a study abroad destination. It's an ocean of bloody 4,000 universities. Why would you not want to go to the US? There's more options available. Okay, so I think LIU is turning 100 years next year.
Yes,
is
yes,
it next year?
we are turning 100 years old.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So this is something. Again, this is another thing we do at this podcast. Is we talk about how your institute has evolved. Oh, so what are the core values of LIU right now, and how do you think they've evolved over the past century?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Long Island University started in Brooklyn as a university option for poor migrants who are in the United States and they were looking for affordable education. And I think that's still a value that we have. We're one of the most affordable private universities in New York.
Oh wow.
We cap tuition increases at 2% each year. So we continue to work extremely hard at continuing to add value to our academic programs, our resources, our facilities, so that our students have incredible experiences, but we also try and keep costs down while having attractive scholarship options. So we started in programs like education and business, and we still teach those programs, but we've developed so much. We're one of the premier pharmacy universities of New York. We have a vet med program, veterinary medicine, one of only 4 in the Northeast. So we have so many new and exciting programs at the university. For example, we have the first Bachelor's of Engineering in Digital Engineering program in the United States. So we're doing so much now with technology, infusing technology into so many different disciplines, biomedical devices, artificial intelligence and drug development. So there's so many areas where we're investing technology into the classroom and furthering the research of our university, and those are experiences that we hope students will take advantage of, and they'll bring that into their job interview. They'll talk to their employer about, this is the research I'm doing in my classroom. This is the technology that I use. So they're up on the latest in technology in that field, and they can have interesting conversations at their job interviews.
So you've tried to be as inclusive as possible with the types of students you're getting. So in terms of programs as well as in terms of cost, to summarize what you've said. Okay, so I think LIU has 2 distinct campuses. So I think we want to start by talking about Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Sure. So if you could just walk us through from the visual perspective what the Brooklyn campus is like. We'll throw visuals, we'll throw footage there. And then I have a follow-up question. So I think let's start there.
Yeah, the Brooklyn campus is 1 subway stop away from being in Manhattan. It's on the Brooklyn side of the famous Brooklyn Bridge. It's an 11-acre gated campus. It's one of the safest campuses ranked in New York City. We have dining facilities, student housing facilities. Housing is guaranteed for your entire degree program. We have athletic facilities, gym facilities. It's an amazing campus. It's not a standalone building. So you have that traditional U.S. college experience, but you're in New York City. You have access to internships, access to cultural events. It's a transportation hub. You can get to New Jersey, Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn. Many of our international students have some connections to New York. So you're never wishing that you have a car in New York City. So you have all the access as any student would at our New York City campus. So it's a beautiful campus. We even have green spaces on our New York City campus. So I'm excited that students will be able to kind of see what the campus looks like on the podcast.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. And I think this you guys also have a 360 view. I was watching the campus tour.
Yes,
You have a really good campus tour video. We'll put that as well in the description. I think that should be helpful for students to go to.
absolutely.
Okay, what is your favorite spot at the
My
campus?
favorite spot on campus, you know what? I used to play sports growing up, so I love the gym. We have a full gymnasium at our Brooklyn campus, a
Mhm.
basketball arena. It seats about 1,500 students, so it's quite large.
Mm.
We even have professional NBA teams play at our basketball arena. We have 40 Division I athletic programs, so I love to see that arena filled up during our basketball games. It's really exciting place to be.
Oh well, and let's now do the same for the other campus.
Yeah, the Post campus. I'm originally from Long Island, so I do love our Long Island campus. It's you really have best of both worlds with our
Mhm.
Long Island campus. It's 330 acres. It's a traditional U.S. college campus experience, very spread out.
Mhm.
We have athletic facilities, dining facilities at our Long Island campus. We even have an equestrian team. So if you're interested in horse racing, uh, so you truly have the best of both worlds with both of our campuses.
Mm.
Most of our majors are offered at both campuses. It really comes down to student preference. Do you
Mm.
want to be an hour outside of the city? That's our Long Island campus. Or do you want to be in New York City? That would be our Brooklyn campus.
So that's my follow-up question. How do you think students' lives, the student life is different in both of these campuses?
Very different. Yeah, it's two different communities.
Mhm.
They each have their own clubs and organizations on campus, which are very important,
Mhm.
especially for international students to get involved with right away. Maybe take a leadership role in one of the clubs or organizations that we have, dedicated to your profession, dedicated to a sport, dedicated to your culture.
Mm.
We have an Indian student club called Sagnam.
Really?
Yeah, so they put on events like Diwali and Holi Festival. They're really large events. It's one of the largest international student organizations in New York City, actually. I know the president of that club. Her name is Saloni. She's
Mhm.
from Mumbai.
Oh wow.
She's studying cosmetic pharmacy. It's a great example of a student who I get the question all the time, are there on-campus jobs? And
Mhm.
she was looking for an on-campus job and she didn't get one right away, but she
Mm.
joined this student organization. She quickly became the president of this organization.
Mm.
She's managing a budget for the university to take care of all the events for that
Oh
organization.
wow.
And and after 1 year at LIU, she got an internship. She actually got 3 internship
Mhm.
offers, and she took one at one of the largest cosmetic manufacturing companies in New Jersey.
Oh
So
wow.
it's an example of taking advantage of all the great opportunities that we have at LIU, especially the clubs and organizations.
Mm.
And she was able to be successful there in the
Mhm.
classroom, and she was able to secure an internship in her second year.
I think now let's get to the savory bit. Let's get
Yeah,
into the programs.
sure.
So if you could just run us through what are the programs you have, and I think some of the programs are really popular. Some of the programs are, I think your performing arts program is a top 30,
Yes.
and then you also have really good business program. If you could just run us through the programs you have at both the campuses.
Do you want to talk about the bachelor's programs, the master's program, or
Let's do
big
mix of
picture?
both.
Mix of both.
Mix of both, but so most of the students from India, my understanding is they come from for masters. But then I think you would be a better person to talk about LIU. Where do majority of the students come from?
Absolutely. So I think we could start with pharmacy.
Sure.
Thinking about at the undergraduate level, we have a PharmD program, Doctorate of Pharmacy. It's a 6-year professional program for students who want to become a licensed pharmacist.
Mhm.
We also have master's degree programs in the School of Pharmacy.
Mhm.
We have drug and regulatory affairs, cosmetic pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, and we have pharmacology and toxicology.
Mm.
We even have a PhD program, in pharmaceutics.
Oh,
So a
wow.
number of different programs in pharmacy. Staying in line with pharmacy, we can talk about health. We
Mhm.
have one of the largest nursing programs in New York. We have nursing, bachelor's of science in nursing at both of our campuses, Brooklyn and Post.
Mhm.
Shifting more to our graduate degree programs, we offer exercise science, a perfect degree program for students that have a bachelor's in physical therapy.
Mhm.
We have MPH public health, perfect for students who have backgrounds in nursing, dentistry, medicine. They can go into public health, a very popular program and a renowned program at LIU. So those are some of our health and our pharmacy related programs.
Mm.
Shifting to our business and our technology programs, we have business administration, we have finance at the bachelor's level.
Mhm.
At the postgraduate level, we have programs like MBA with different specializations in management information systems, accounting, data analytics, finance, marketing, a number of different specializations within the MBA program. We also have data analytics, a really exciting program. It's a fusion between financial tech and business. So we are seeing a lot of students from different backgrounds go into data analytics. Students with engineering backgrounds and students with business backgrounds are going into this degree program. Shifting now to some of our tech programs, we have artificial intelligence, computer science at the bachelor's and the master's level. And one of our newest programs, the first in the country, is our Bachelor's of Engineering and Digital Engineering. So we have so many disciplines that I just covered in business, tech, health professions. I didn't even get to our performing arts programs. We have performing arts programs like acting, musical theater, offered at both of our campuses. Those are audition-based programs, as you mentioned. That's a top 30 performing arts program. So we really offer a little bit of everything for every kind of a student.
So let's say if I am a student who wants to get into LIU for a performing arts program. Let's say I want to get in for PG. You have PG for performing arts?
We do. We have certain programs that are related to performing arts. We have a creative writing and TV producing program. So that would be in that space, but not exactly a performance-based program.
Got it. Okay. So let's say if I want to get into one of these programs, how do you think I should go about building my roadmap as to what are the steps I should be taking to get into LIU, and what are the steps you would advise I should be taking post getting out of LIU in terms of building my career?
That's a great question. What I would say is that if you're interested in performing and being involved in a performance-based curriculum in the United States and including LIU, there are aspects of the curriculum. The curriculum is built around singing, acting, and dancing, depending on the nature of it. So you will need to audition for that program. And many performing arts universities in the US, they'll allow you to audition virtually. So be familiar with what those audition requirements are. Make sure that you've prepared for that audition. And the remainder of the application process will be similar to any other program. So yeah, we get so many questions from high school counselors and agents about that process to audition. So it's a new process for a lot of people who haven't advised a student on how to audition. So understanding that audition component, that's going to be a big part of your application.
If you could name the top 5 most popular programs amongst international students, and I think what we want to do is you want to maybe start from number 5 and then going in the ascending order.
Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, MPH Public Health.
There's number 4.
Number 4, MPH Public Health. Number 3, MS Exercise Science. Number 2, Drug and Regulatory Affairs. Number 1, Pharmaceutics with a specialization in industrial pharmacy.
This is really interesting because usually you would see students just take the management or the tech programs. If these are the top 5 most popular for LIU, it's a good diversity of students and programs.
Absolutely.
All right. So what is the tuition cost at LIU like? And so question number 1, what is like a ballpark for the tuition for programs? And question number 2 is, what are the scholarship numbers?
Yes.
If you could give example of if I'm a A grade student, what are the scholarship opportunities for me?
Yes. So at the bachelor's level, our tuition is approximately $42,000 per year. We have scholarships ranging from $7,000 all the way up to $30,000 per year.
Oh wow! Oh wow! So removing most of my cost.
Absolutely. We have fantastic scholarship options at the bachelor's level. Now at the graduate level, we have tuition ranging from $25,000 per year to as high as $32,000 per year, depending on which program you're joining. We do have scholarship program in partnership with Study Group, up to $6,000 in the first year.
Oh wow! Oh wow! And so what does it take for a student to go get the maximum scholarship?
We do a holistic review of the student's application where we're looking for students that have done well academically. They have good grades. We look at their, in some cases, their resume or their statement of purpose. In some cases, we'll look at their courses related to their major so we can predict how successful that student will be. So we'll also look at their English proficiency testing scores. If they've taken other exams like SAT or
Right.
ACT, all of that is baked into the equation on how we calculate what scholarship the particular student will receive.
Okay. So I know I've said this often already because we've done a couple of episodes. Another thing that we do here is we talk about the mascot. You've got Shark.
Shark.
So if if the students turn into the mascot of the institute they're studying at, I would definitely come to LIU. Why Shark?
Why a shark? Well, we're on Long Island, so there are some sharks on Long Island. It's not super common, but occasionally it makes big news when there's a shark on Long Island. It's all over the news, and people get excited. They get a little bit scared, but they get excited as well when there is a shark spotting. So I think there's a fascination with sharks, if you've seen the movie Jaws.
Yeah.
So we actually went through a rebranding several years ago. So we're really excited about our new mascot. We have 40 Division I athletic programs. We have a top basketball program, top ice hockey program. So we're excited about seeing sharks everywhere. We have an esports program at both of our campuses. So if you're interested in gaming, we have incredible esports facilities at both of our campuses. So we have esports, we have Shark Nation swag on our t-shirts. We have bobbleheads. So students seem to be really enthused by the new mascot.
What was it before this?
We had two different mascots, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I've been at LIU for about 2.5 years, but I believe we had a mascot at the Brooklyn campus and we had a mascot at the Post campus. I can't remember what the mascots were, but it's nice to see the university unify more and have one mascot that defines the whole university.
So LIU has a rich culture. It's a very old institute. What are some of the traditions you have?
Yeah, as you said, well said. We have such a rich history, especially in places like India, in places like South Korea, in places like Long Island. When I tell people on Long Island that I work at LIU, they know LIU, they know the two different campuses. They ask me, do I work at Post campus? Do I work at Brooklyn campus? We have famous theaters at both of our campuses, at Brooklyn campus and at Post campus. Post campus, we have the Tillis Center. At Brooklyn, we have the Brooklyn Paramount. They're two iconic theaters that are incredible. They recently renovated the Brooklyn Theater, Paramount. So it's one of the top venues now in New York City for performing artists. So some of the traditions are we have midnight breakfast. So during finals week, staff and faculty will actually feed the students. So they'll be in the cafeteria. Your dean, your professor, your teacher, even myself, will be in the cafeteria feeding the students. And it's a free meal for all students on campus during the stressful time of finals week. So that's one great...
Why is it called midnight breakfast? You giving breakfast, you're serving breakfast at 12 a.m.?
Not that late exactly. I think they used to do it that late. Now we do it at about 9, 10 p.m. So it's still at night. And we go pretty late, but it's one big party. We have a DJ, we have free food, we have giveaways, and it's just a way to support students while they're going through finals week.
Oh, wow. And what are some of the common traditions for international students? Is there some tradition that you can think of?
Yeah, there's definitely great international student organizations that we have on campus that they're starting to build these traditions, which is exciting. This year I was at our Holy Festival, so I got to see the students in all the colors and dancing. We had a Diwali festival on campus, so it's really nice to see those new traditions develop as we have new international students from different countries pave the way forward for some new and exciting traditions.
So with the Brooklyn campus, I think there's you close to the center of the city, and there's a lot of industries nearby. What kind of impact do you think that has on the students?
It certainly makes an impact. You need to be a certain type of student to study in New York City. I think our students are hustlers. They want to work hard. They do work hard. They're absolutely tenacious about their career. They're very career oriented. I think they're inspired by living and studying in New York City. They want to work at top companies. They want to intern as soon as they're eligible to, if they're an international student, as soon as they're able to have the work authorization. They want to go after great internships.
Hmm.
So I think they're just inspired about being professionals in New York City, and that work ethic of New York City, that hustle rubs off on our
Mm.
students, and they strive for career success. They
Hmm.
strive for high paying salaries. And I think that's the mentality of a lot of New York City students, especially Long Island University students.
Mm. What are the CPT options?
Great CPT options, and CPT is when you're interning on your student visa. You can
Hmm.
intern after your first year of
Right,
study is
right.
completed. We have career fairs every year at Long Island University,
Hmm.
general career fairs for the whole university, but we have career fairs for our pharmacy school, for our business school. You
Mm.
can meet with prospective employers. We have different networking events with alumni and faculty members.
Hmm.
Additionally, we have a platform called Handshake,
Mm.
which is like a LinkedIn for students,
Oh,
and talent acquisition people at top companies in New York. They can post exclusive job postings
mhm.
directly for Long Island
So
University
this is
students.
a digital platform that all students have access to?
All students have access to.
Oh, wow.
Handshake.
So this is limited to LIU? Is it?
Handshake is at many different U.S. universities.
Oh, okay,
And,
okay,
and,
okay.
and really, it's a platform for talent acquisition people who
Mhm.
just say they're posting a job for an entry level position, and they're looking at pharmacy. It's a
Mm.
pharmacy position. They need entry level students or alumni to apply for this particular job.
Mhm.
What they'll say is, well, we want the best applicants. So we'll post this job at LIU and some other top pharmacy schools, and hopefully we'll get some LIU students to
Mm.
apply for this position. And we know the quality of the LIU alumni. We know they're great students. They're well trained. They interview well. That's what they can expect from an LIU student. So
Mm.
our brand is very important. And we know that these top companies want to hire our students, and that platform is an avenue for students to get to apply to those exclusive job postings.
So what are some of the popular employers you have? Or what are the big organizations you see coming in? What are the big names?
Yeah, I mean, for example, we have an alumni at every major pharmacy company in New York and New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Murad, who's actually an alumni of Long Island University,
Mhm.
they hire LIU students.
Mm.
Companies like Pfizer, companies like Johnson and Johnson,
Mhm.
companies like MSG, companies like Barclays Center. So there's Morgan Stanley, for example. So there's so many Fortune 500 companies. There's 50 Fortune 500 companies alone in New York City. So all of these companies are, occasionally coming to our career events, and our students are finding jobs at those top companies.
Okay, so what are some of the things you're doing to keep your alum network in place?
Yeah, we have incredible alumni events throughout the year. For example, uh, Ray Dalio
Mhm.
is one of our most famous alumni. He is the owner of the largest hedge fund in the world,
Mm.
Ray Dalio, and he wrote a book recently. He came to our university, gave a speech,
Oh, wow.
autographed a number of books, and donated books to our university. So he's an example of an incredible alumni
Mhm.
who's coming back to the university and working with our students through professional development and speaking engagements with our students. So that's just one activity where we're inviting alumni back to our campus to attend networking events, meet our
Mm.
students, and our alumni are excited about it. They're not just excited about giving money to LIU, although they do that too, but they engage in other kinds of professional development type
Mhm.
events.
Do you think you could help me with an example of a student who's done well, of an international student who's done well, maybe from India, if not any country, and what their journey has been like? Just an overview of that.
Yeah, we could certainly give you an example of an international student who has had success. I don't know this particular alumni's name.
Mhm.
It's slipping on me, but this is an alumni who graduated from our pharmacy college, and they are from Korea. And
Mhm.
now that they're in Korea, they're a chief executive officer at a major pharmaceutical company in South Korea.
Mm.
We have a fantastic alumni base in South Korea, as we do in India, Brazil, and a number of other countries. But there's so many great success stories of our alumni in so many parts of the world. In the
Mm.
Middle East, we have so many different pharmacy alumni. Korea, we have many different business alumni. So it's incredible the history of LIU and all the international students who have come to LIU for all the different majors that we have.
Oh, wow. All right. So I think we've talked about most of the things with LIU. Is there something that you want to touch? Is there something that you think we might have missed?
No, I think we've really covered a lot, and what I would say is that you know, to prospective students and families is engage with Long Island University. If you like what
Mhm.
you've heard today, meet with us.
Mm.
We do a number of different virtual engagements, so you can meet with LIU students, you can meet with faculty and staff like myself.
Mhm.
We have an entire accepted student series for international students so that they can get to know the university better. They can meet their faculty, know the research that's going on at the university,
Mm.
and I hope that we can make an exciting admissions process for the student, that they have an enjoyable. It's a highly administrative process, but
Mhm.
it's one that we want to make highly personal. So that's my recommendation: is engage with
Mm.
us, meet
Mm.
our faculty, and get to know us more.
Oh wow, it was lovely having you. I think I've learned a lot of things, and if I had the chance, I would have applied for LIU.
Thank you.
And hopefully, everybody watching would have also understood or gone through all the aspects of LIU.